the days before India became independent and the British ruled the country. The Indians had become so used to of being enslaved that they had forgotten their individuality and treated the British rulers as their gods. The British had smartly brought about these changes in the mindset of the Indians by erasing from their minds the rich and splendid heritage and culture of India. Several leaders emerged on the Indian scene around this time, each with an undisputed aim of making India free from the British slavery by awakening the Indian people from their slumber and inculcating self respect and self confidence in them. Bhagat Singh was one such great son of the Indian soil. Bhagat Singh was born on September 28, 1907, in the village of Banga of Jaranwala Taluk in Layalpur district. At the time of his birth, his father Kishan Singh and uncle Sran Singh were re- released from imprisonment, and therefore the child was considered fortunate and was called Bhagat Singh. Having a legacy of patriotic ancestral patriotism was in Bhagat Singh's blood. His grandfather Arjun Singh, who was an agriculturist by profession and also practiced Ayurveda and Unani medicine, developed interest in the independence struggle and social service, although an Arya Samji by religion. He politically followed the Congress. He had three sons, the eldest being Sardar Kishan Singh, Bhagat Singh's father, the second and originally named Sardar Ajit Singh, and the youngest Sardar Saran Singh. Besides having a glorious paternal descent, Bhagat Singh also had a brave mother, Vidyavati Devi, who was honored with the title Mother of Punjab by the Punjab government after independence. Apart from the patriotic genes that he inherited from his family, Bhagat Singh's young and impressionable mind also got influenced by the great personalities that frequented his house and were close to the family. Among the eminent freedom fighters who visited his house were the Lion of Punjab, Lala Lajpati Rai, Mahatma Hamsaraj of the Arya Samaj, Lala Hardayal Bhai Paramanand, etc. His uncle Ajit Singh himself led a revolutionary organization by the name of Gadar Party. Therefore, the courageous members of the Gadar Party were also close to the family. Not only this, Bhagat Singh mothers had also inculcated the feeling of patriotism in her son right from his childhood by narrating to him the story of Guru Gobind Singha, Haket Katrai, Machar, and Rama and Krishna. With, uh, with such a glorious and patriotic background, Bhagat Singh feelings for the nation did not surprise anyone. At the tender age of 3, when the other kids were busy in their childish tantrums, Bhagat Singh took his family by surprise when he gave a very unexpected reply to a simple question. One day, while Bhagat Singh was playing with mud by sticking small sticks on mound of mud, his father friend observed him and asked him what he was doing. The boy proudly replied that he was growing gun, and on being questioned further about the reason for doing such a thing, he gallantly replied to defeat the enemies. On hearing such a courageous reply from the brave little boy, the man exclaimed, Kisan Singh, your son is not an ordinary boy. His uncles, being active freedom fighters, were put behind bars on several occasions, but this did not deter their love for the freedom of their country. His uncle Ajit Singh shook the very root of the British government with his fiery speeches and action and become a force to contend with for the British. The British having no other way of handling such a fighter time and again imprisoned him and his brother Swaran Singh. The fateful year of 1919 proved to be a turning point in the life of young Bhagat Singh. He was merely 12 years of age and was a student of DAV College in Lahore. He took an wide interest in studies as well as in extracurricular activities. Sanskrit, English, history, and Urdu were his favorite subjects, and after school, he used to play martial games and spend time with his friends. One day, while reading the newspaper, he came across the news of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. The mayor, reading of his sad and horrific event, shook the very earth beneath his feet, and his mind was thrown into turmoil, and he became restless and started walking up and down like a madman. The fateful day of April 13, 1919, the day after the festival of Ram Navami, saw the arrest of many Congress leaders by the British government. Among the ones who were arrested were the revolted leaders like Dr. Satyapal of Amritsar and Saifuddin Kolo. This led to a general unrest among the people of Amritsar, and in order to show their resentment, they decided to protest against this incident. A big open ground surrounded by walls on all four sides was selected as the venue for the meeting. The meeting included a speech from the local leaders, and it was attended by swarms of people including men and women of all age groups in equal numbers. The agenda of the meeting was to condemn the government act of punishing the freedom fighters by calling them traitors under the cover of the Rowlatt Act. The then Lieutenant Governor of Punjab, Michael Dior, had put the control of Amritsar under the jurisdiction of General Dyer, who acted as his right hand. The moment General Dyer came to know about the meeting, he could hardly sustain his anger, and in utter fury, he desired to teach the Indians a lesson, and therefore he marched with his soldiers to the place of action, the Jallianwala Bagh. Such was his range, rag that he did not even stop the register what was going on and ordered his soldiers to start firing at the large innocent crowd, which was not less than some 20,000 in number. General Dry released the mass code. Bluetooth shoot out the of the innocent and unarmed people. He made sure that the only escape which was a small gate, was properly guarded and thus which no other escape available. The people ran here and there, looking after a means of saving their life. Many of them threw themselves into the only refuge from the shore of bullet and old well. This even marked that brutally of the British and saw the demise of 379 innocent lives with 11,137 injured. Otherwise, the soldiers had blindly showered around 1,630 rounds of bullets. Such was the extent of ruthlessness that immediately after the Moscow curfew was imposed by the government so as to make sure that these injured do not receive any medical assistance. This incident became the most tragic and heart-rending incident of the Indian history and also acted as the turning point in the freedom struggle of India. Having read the trending account of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Bhagat Singh did not return for 3 days. His family tried to look for him at all his routine, Hanat, but to no appreciation, and this sudden absence of the boy worried them. Bhagat Singh could not find solace in anything after reading about the incident. It attracted him like a magnet and giving no thought to the consequence with a bag of his shoulders. He bored a train to Amritsar. He was in deep misery and on visiting the place of massacre he could not sustain his grief and started crying. He paced the cemetery and observed the bullet marks on the walls and peeped in the old well that had become a grave for many. On observing the ground closely, he noticed that the mud was still red with the blood of the dead. He collected some mud in a small box and smeared his face with the blood scented mud. He of time and stood there trying to imagine the dreadful incident and the wailing people. This day marked a complete change in the life of Bhagat Singh as he had embarked upon the course for which he had taken birth. The Jallianwala Bagh became a sacred place for him. Bhagat Singh returned home very late and his family had a of relief. He saw the scared yet that he had brought from Jallianwala Bagh to his sister to her. That scared yet was shook. The blood of flow. Indian asked her to go to it. He placed it on his bookshelf and watched it every day. So these words, today's topic going to end. We know the great person, great personality is Bhagat Singh, the great freedom fighter, patriot. Thank you for listening. Let's we continue about the great freedom fighter, the great patriot Bhagat Singh. The Jallianwala Bagh incident gave an impetus to the freedom struggle. The non-cooperative cooperation movement was started by the Congress under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. It included a mass boycott of government schools, colleges, courts, and office. Bhagat Singh actively participated in the movement with a lot of backing and encouragement from his father. He was always at the fore in burning clothes. Bhagat Singh never wore any foreign clothes and preferred khadi, and after the Swadeshi movement he became even more proud of wearing khadi. He left his education at the DAV college, passed a special examination, and took admission in a college that was started by Lajpat Rai and by Ramanand in Lahore. He used to take wide interest in a plays enhanced by the college drama association and acted out interesting characters in them. In the meanwhile, the Congress launched the civil disobedience movement, but the movement was suddenly halted by Gandhiji due to the violence at a place called Chauri Chaura. There was a countrywide protest against the decision, and many eminent leaders, including Deshbandhu, Chitran Das, Laja Rajputrai, Motilal Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, and Subhash Chandra Bose, shown their displeasure on the decision. Bhagat Singh was seriously disillusioned by the sudden halting of the movement, and it made him think about another outlet for giving vent to his feeling for the country. The first thing that came to his mind was a big plan about which he had heard at the age of 8. The plan, he remembered, was formulated by Sophie Amber Prasad, his uncle Ajit Singh, the matriarch Khatar Singh Sarbo, and Ras Bihari Bose to instigate the revolution against the British. The matriarch Khatar Singh Sarbo held a high place of Bhagat Singh's heart to the extent that he was Bhagat Singh's ideal leader. Bhagat Singh got truly inspired by his martyrdom, and he decided that he cruel British who had seen the Jallianwala Bagh massacre should be returned back in the same coin, and the foes should be treated with the same ruthlessness and violence. At this point of time, he had chalked out his plan clearly in his mind. He had a acquaintance with Chatandranath Senior, who had participated in the first Lahore conspiracy case. Besides this, he had heard a lot about the different revolutionary organizations and their activities and decided to join one of them. But deciding about his future course of action did not prove to be enough for him. As another situation rises his head due to the decision of becoming a revolutionary and also standing true to his grandfather's words that Bhagat Singh was dedicated to the nation, because he had decided never to marry in his lifetime. But he soon received a letter from his father stating that he had chosen a bride for him and wanted him to come home for the wedding. It also stated that his grandmother was quite eager to see him get married. He wrote back to his father, feeling him about his decision, but his father did not give it, and the correspondence went on for some time. Finally, Bhagat Singh wrote back to his father, telling him about his decision and also stating, "I am surprised to hear such a suggestion from a patriot like you. You want to fulfill the desire of your mother, but I have decided to remain the bachelor to secure the independence of mother of us all." Till the time his father received a letter he had from Lahore, Bhagat Singh came to Kanpur from Lahore, and creating public awareness took up journalism. During all this while, he took reviews of Pratap Press, which belonged to the Congress activists and friend of revolutionaries Ganesh Shankar Vidyarthi. He came across several books at the press and spent his time reading these books, making notes, and visiting the fair held in the neighboring village, Kanpur, and delivering spiritual lectures. He became engrossed in his mission that he forgot all about his home. On the other hand, his family became really worried about him. They did not know about his whereabouts. His grandmother became bedridden. It was after a long listening search that they came to know Bhagat Singh was in Kanpur. They sent him a letter stating that he could return home as they had dropped a marriage proposal. On hearing this, Bhagat Singh happily returned to his village Banna. Around that, there is six student movement called Jailu Murko. This jail was formulated in his order to go or repair some harmful developments in the Sikh society. The final destination being Guru Nanak birthplace Jadab passed from several places including the Bahar village. The government did not like such mass gathering and appointed a deputy commissioner of the police, Dilbar Singh, to curb it. Dilbar Singh was himself a Sikh and Bhagat Singh closer relative, so strong was his desire to fulfill his duty to restart the food and water supply in this area. This act garnered severe opposition from Bhagat Singh and he decided to break the provision ordered by arranging for the food and water supply for the members of the Jata. Not only this, he also feared speeches that needed freedom. The Singh got angry over hearing such report, but he was not empowered to take any legal action against Bhagat Singh. He was underage at the time and therefore he could not arrest him. In spite of his activities participation in foiling the plans of the government, Bhagat Singh was still not satisfied with his effort as he feared that he had not been able to secure a proper base. This dissatisfaction brought about the establishment of Navajan Bharat Sabha in Lahore. The main objective of the organization is cultivate patriotism, moral awareness, social awareness, and interest for literature. Amongst these youth, leaders like Bhagwati Charan Satyapal were also a part of his organization. The majority celebration was considered to be an important activity in the organization. The main aim behind it was the reinforcement of willpower in students and the youth. The celebration included the organization of several processions wherein photography of material were displayed along with prayer speeches and war taking was done by talking out of the blood from the dedicated person's fingers. Thus the Sabha accomplished huge success in task of organizing the youth. This generated the attention of the police who began to keep in eye on activist Bhagat Singh as they knew he was a Singh nephew and they had report of his various speeches. So like this way, the great freedom fighter, the unsung hero, great patriotic Bhagat Singh worked and served for our country so that we are taking very peaceful breath. We are taking Dhanyawad. Thank you. Let's listen about the great unsung hero, the great freedom fighter Bhagat Singh. The activities of Navajwan Bharat Sabha made Bhagat Singh travel a lot. Once while he was a minister, a secret service followed him, but he escaped and fled to Lahore. Unfortunately, on reaching Lahore, he was arrested at the railway station and put in jail near the fort. When he came to know the reason behind his arrest from the charge sheet that was filled by the police, he was really taken aback. The police had charged Bhagat Singh for throwing a bomb at a Dasara procession. Though he was aware of the happening of the incident. He was in no way involved in it. This incident gave the police a means to get hold of Bhagat Singh. They tortured him and forced him to elicit answer to the question. But being the strong man that he was, Bhagat Singh did not utter even a single word. To Bhagat Singh's good fortune, two well-known persons of Lahore, Dunichand and Dolatram, took pity on his poor state in the jail and got him released on bail by depositing rupees 60,000. It proved to be an unforgettable situation for Bhagat Singh. If the police station came to know about his political activities, they would confiscate the 60,000 which had been submitted by the gentleman. He kept quiet and sat doing nothing. Then Kishan Singh asked him to look after a petty set. When Bhagat Singh was arrested in the Dasra case, he was yearning to meet Chandrasekhar Azad, who had been active in Northeast. Chandrasekhar Azad earned fame when he had received 14 plus during the non-cooperation movement. Bhagat Singh admired Azad for his fearlessness, idealism, and dedication. He felt that if Azad agreed to join him, it would enhance his activities and help them to spread their message all over India. Azad had begun this rebellious career as an active worker of the revolutionary organization, the Hindustan Republic Army. The police was looking for him because of his involvement in the Kakori Railway Dakoti incident, but he had carefully avoided them. After the Kakori heroes Ram Prasad Bismil and Aswak ul Khan had been put to death, Asad, who believed in the cause and the organization, worked extremely hard to put a new life in it. A revolutionary named Kundan Lal arranged a meeting between Bhagat Singh and Azad. They met at Kanpur. When Bhagat Singh and Azad started working together, it was like wine meeting fire. Together they have a new impetus and meaning to revolutionary activities. Their combined efforts led to the start of a new phase in the history of the Indian freedom struggle. On September 8, 1928, revolutionaries from Rajasthan, Bihar, and the United Provinces met secretly at a place close to Delhi. In this meeting, the Hindustan Republic Army was renamed as the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. All the planning was Bhagat Singh's responsibilities, while Azad was responsible for the execution of those plans. The organization got a new spirit through the talents and devotion of the members. Offices of the organization were opened at the places like Delhi, Lucknow, Jhansi, Kanpur, Kasi, Agra, and Lahore. Other crucial decisions that were taken at that meeting were that the government treasuries and post office would be looted to fund the activities of the organization. No one would be sacrificed needlessly, and the public would be made aware of the presence of the organization through effective publicity. The responsibility of drafting the publicity material was left to Bhagat Singh, while Azad was made responsible for executing the looting and the plunders. On the same day, the government announced that Lord Edwin, the Viceroy, had called all the leader of different organizations. At that meeting, it was revealed that a commission headed by Sir John Simon would be coming from London in order to find out what the public felt about the restructuring of the government administration. This commission would tour India and visit several places. As soon as the news was made public, the leaders realized that it was another ploy being used by the British government to pacify pacify the Indian population and those the fire for freedom which was blazing in every Indian heart. An All India Simon Commission boycott committee was set up to boycott the Simon Commission. Madhana Mohan Malaviya was the president of this committee. The meeting, which was held on September 8, also decided that all the revolutionaries should involve themselves with the meeting presents and black flag demonstration. The revolutionaries saw this as a sign from God Himself and starting making preparation with a renewed energy. It was decided that the Simon Commission would be welcomed with the demonstration on its arrival on the September 20th. The demonstration was to be led by the Lion of Punjab, Lala Lajpat Rai. Bhagat Singh, Bahawadi Charan, Sukhdev and other members of Naujawan Bharat Sabha led the people to the Lahore railway station on September 20th. Right from the morning, everything went as planned. As soon as the Simon Commission arrived at the station, the air was filled with the slogan Simon, go back. The Superintendent of Police, Scott, was looking for opportunity to teach the Indians a lesson. He observed the crowd very closely and without any reason ordered a lathi charge. The police started beating the peaceful demonstrators. The ruthlessness which was displayed the day he had no parallel in the history of India. Scott signaled J.P. Sanders, the Assistant Superintendent of Police, to teach a lesson to Lala Lajpati Rai. Sanders, accompanied by his soldiers, ran towards Lala Lajpati Rai and hit the frail leader with such vehemence that the umbrella in his hand broke. Lala Lajpati Rai received a fatal wound in his chest, which was 9 inches deep. In spite of being very weak, Lala Lajpati Rai attended the public meeting which had been organized on the same evening in order to criticize the wealth of the people. Though he was swathed in bandages, he addressed the meeting and declared that the government, which assaults and harasses its innocent citizens, does not deserve to exist. Such a government is not a civilized government. He said that each and every blow which Lalaji received that day would act as the last nail driven into the coffin of the British administration. This was his last statement on November 17. He breathed his last. The whole of Lahore and the nation grieved on his death. Basanti Devi, the wife of Deshabandhu Sitranjanjas, inspired the revolutionary to avenge the death of one of the most revered leader of the nation. She said, "Is there any dignity left in this country? Can you not feel the shame and disgrace which has been brought upon this country as a citizen of this nation? I would like the youth of the country to come forward and answer my question." The Hindustan Socialist Republic Association took upon itself to give an answer to Basant Devi. Under the leadership of Azad, a secret meeting was held on December 1, 1928. Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev Rajguru, Bhagavati Charan, and others attended the meeting. They desired to kill Scott, the Superintendent of Police. On December 17 at around 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon, Asad Singh, Sukhdev, and Rajguru took up their position in front of the office of the Senior Superintendent of Police, which was located at Mall Road in Lahore. It was Jayagopal's responsibility to identify the squad whenever he came out of the police station. In case he failed to do so, another group would accomplish the task at around 4:35 p.m. The revolutionaries got a signal from Jayagopal. Bhagat Singh realized that Jayagopal had made a mistake, as it was Sanders who had come out, not Scott. Bhagat Singh thought that Seven Sanders was a criminal, as he was the one who had actually hit Lala Lajpati Rai. The moment Sanders moved towards his motorcycle, Bhagat Singh and Rajguru jumped out of the bush and started firing at Sanders. The bullets hit Sanders and he fell down, screaming in agony. Bhagat Singh and Rajguru fled from the spot. After killing Sanders, a constable called Chandan Singh ran after them but stood still when he heard a sharp cry covered her from behind them. Chandan Singh turned and saw Azad standing 50 yards away. He was sure that Azad would not take any action from such a distance and he moved slightly instantly. Azad fired at him and he died on the spot. The whole nation was buzzing. Only one question: who has dared to do this? After 5 days, a handbill that was handwritten in red ink was found. This handbill stated that Hindustan Socialist Revolution Association took the responsibility for the incident. The handbill was titled Warning to Appreciation. In brief, the handbill stated that incident was India's way of avenging the death of Lala Lajpati Rai. The British government had disgraced the nation by beating an old national leader publicly, so that youth of the nation had taken it up as a challenge. The youth had picked up arms and were ready to sacrifice their life in order to preserve the country's honor. The person whom they had killed was a symbol of the world's most brutal, weak, and unfair government. Though they were sorry, as they did not want to shed blood, but to be stop to such brutal exploitation. Making sacrifices was important. It had been signed Balroj, as it was the name of Azad used. The police became extremely alert after the appearance of these handbills. It made this government very restless and it took the incident as a challenge. The government soon released that the incident was connected with the arrival of the Simon Commission. The victory was ordered to arrest the guilty as soon as possible. Many young and innocent people were arrested and put behind boards and logo was placed under strict vigil, especially the roads, railways, station and bus stops were closely guarded. That mean the time Bhagat Singh and his accomplices were planning an escape from Lagur, Bhagat Singh, who had beard, shaved and wore different clothes for the occasion. On December 22, Bhagat Singh tried the role of senior officer with his wife and son, who were enacted by Durga Devi, the wife of Bhagat Singh, child and his servant, was none other than Rajguru. Reached the Logo station in spite of the strict vigil. Bhagat Singh and his family were able to enter the first class compartment. Azad was also in the same train, but he was disguised as a sadhu. Azad, Rajguru, and other got down in the middle, but Bhagat Singh traveled till Calcutta, where Bhagavad received him. At the same time, the Congress session was being held in Calcutta. Bhagat Singh moved around and interacted with the people who had came from all over India to find out how the public was feeling about the event. He learned that although the killing of Sanders were being criticized strongly, people appreciated that act. He felt that he had given an answer to the British government. He had arrived in Calcutta with the purpose he had heard that Bengal revolutionaries were export bomb makers and therefore wanted to contact them and take them along with him in order to establish a factory manufactures bombs. Bhagat Singh managed to convince Jitin Das, a bomb specialist, but Jitin Das refused to go to the South India. After much deliberation, it was decided that a training for making bombs would be provided in Calcutta itself. Azad was responsible for selecting the trainees and Jitindas trained them. They worked at the Arya Samaj Mandir on Cornwallis Road, having learned the art of bomb making. The Hindustan Socialist Republican Army could now boast of possessing its own team of bomb makers. In that meantime, Bhagat Singh had gone into hiding and factories for making bombs were established at Agra, Delhi, Lahore and Saharanpur. The party members worked efficiently and produced a large number of bombs within a short span of time. So let we continue with this story. Thank you for
the British government introduced the bills, but when they were put to vote, a huge majority defeated both of them. Instantly, John Sustef got up and started speaking on because of the government. He said, using the oath power that had been invested in the government, both the bills. Before he could complete what he was saying, Bhagat Singh and Batukeshwara Datta got up and Bhagat Singh threw a bomb in the assembly. By the time the, the Speaker of the Assembly, Vittalabhai Patel, and stood up to say something, just then the bomb fell in the center of the hall and exploded with a big bang. The bomb struck against the wall behind the sister and exploded. Though it trembled like a leaf, nothing happened to him. Immediately a second explosion was heard and the hall was full of smoke. There was stir and everyone started running for covering to save the life. At the same time, both the revolutionaries started shooting slogans which resounded in the whole hall and they simultaneously kept throwing handballs in the hall. The hall fell with the cries of Inqilab Zindabad down with imperialism HSRA Zindabad. Even in such a situation, when everybody was running for cover, two of the greatest sons that India ever produced stood in the midst of confusion with tranquility, confidence, and patience of their faces. Then a police officer called Sergeant Terry came up to him them and questioned them. Did you do this? They affirmed, placed their pistol on the table and stretched their hand to be handcuffed. The handbills, which were strewn all around the hall, split out in clear and defined terms the intention of the revolutionaries. The handbills proclaimed that it was the duty of revolutionaries to cast away the mask of justice and love which the oppressors were wearing. They asked the representatives of the people to come forward and assist in make the masses of their own region. Conscious of this insincerity of the British government, the bill further asked of the representative to make the people aware that they should not allow themselves to be restricted by the rule and regulation of the parliament, which did not even honor their wishes. They further claimed that the bombs were also thrown to await the death of Lala Lajpati Rai and the, to the protest against the introduction of two oppressive bill. All these bills were signed Balraj, who was known as the Azad. When Inspector Johnson rushed to assist Sergeant Tory, Bhagat Singh assured him that they would not run away and would also accept the responsibility of this blast. The actual aim of the explosion was achieved as the blast became the only topic which was discussed all over India. The people were proud of the nation of these young sons of the soil. The attack proved to be a great humiliation of the British government. The growing sense of self respect and the yearning for independence in the India left a bitter taste on the British government mouth. The government began to hand down all revolutionaries with a renewed effort. The police raided the bomb factory in Lahore. The amount of explosives that they found were enough to make at least 7,000 bombs. The factory at Saharanpur was also similarly raided and destroyed. Revolutionaries were caught at different places. Devraj, Guru, Jai Gopal, and various other revolutionaries were arrested and sent to jail. The trial for the assembly bombing case was completed on June 6, 1929. Bhagat Singh and Batukeshwar Datta made a lengthy statement. An extract from the statement is given below. It is a fact that we had load bomb in the assembly, but they did not aim any particular individual. We agree totally with Lord Irving view that the bombing was directed against that administrative machinery. We do not worship violence as they it has been portrayed by some people. We are not a disgrace to the country. We are not thoughtless. We are the student of political science and are analyzing the disorganized state of our country. Its force is used to lay hold of something. It is called injustice and violence. But when it is used to achieve no aims, it's justified. Guru Gobind Singh, Shivaji, Washington, Garibaldi, and others are their sources of inspiration for the new energy which was have stimulated. We feel that this explosion was necessary in order to attract the attention of the government and our leaders who have turned blind and deaf to the present situation. We have no personal grudges against any person who was present at the assembly or against those who are injured. We want to emphasize that for us all, life is pure and sacred. The actual meaning of revelation is a total changes in the system of the society. Revelation is the natural right of the society. Freedom is an individual birthright. We are willing to face any amount of dangerous and make any amount of sacrifice for the sake of achieving this objective. We are willingly burning our youth on the sacrificial altar of revelation, but we know that ultimately our sacrifices will emit a fragrance of sandal. We are henly waiting for such a revelation to achieve. Many revelations live forever. On June 12, 1929, George Midlothian gave his judgment. Both Bhagat Singh and Batukeshwar Dutt were awarded life imprisonment. The police was well aware of the fact of Bhagat Singh was the brain began killing Sanders. J. Gopal turned into government witness and revealed lot of fact concerning the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. Bhagat Singh felt extremely disappointed and sad when he heard this. He constrained himself and said that he could fight against their enemies to any extent, but what could they do about the traitors? When the Lahore conspiracy case was being prepared by the police, Bhagat Singh and Batukeshwar Datta made an appeal to the High Court. They did this just to make sure that their objectives were published. Their stand and what they thought has been mentioned below in brief. The killing of single individual should not be used as the basis of judgment. If killing an individual and killing thousands of people in a battle are same, then the nation and the commanders in chief should be in the same category as the killers. But nobody would actually consider both as the same or equal. We insist that we should not be branded as common killers and that our goals and objectives should not be misunderstood. Once again, we want to make an extremely clear that the objective of our revolution is to stop the exploitation of one man by the other and to secure complete freedom for our nation. As Bhagat Singh had expected, the police started the trial of Sanders' killing on July 10, 1929. The case was heard in Central Jail itself. On one hand, a trial was its progress, and on the other hand, his new struggle had begun. The jail officials tried their level best to break their fast, but all their effort proved to be fruitless in front of the steel like willpower of Bhagat Singh and other leaders. The revolutionaries were becoming weaker day by day. In spite of this, Bhagat Singh attended the court every day and did not give up his slogans and protest. The media made sure that the news of the struggle was carried all over India. People started respecting and admiring Bhagat Singh and the other revolutionaries in a new way. Even the jail of Bengal and Punjab felt the hate of movement, and the All Indian Congress session at Allahabad also encouraged this struggle. The hunter strike was undertaken by Bhagat Singh and his supporters on June 14, 1929. On the same day, Jatindas, the bomb expert of the revolutionaries, was taken into custody in Calcutta. He was then transferred to the central jail located in Lahore. He also undertook the fast instantly. He had fasted for 63 days before he died on September 13. Jacinda's sacrifice gave a new life to the will of the revolters. With the death of Jacindas, the government yielded to the demand of the revolutionaries and took up the reformation of the prisons. Chandrasekhar Azad was still working untriggeringly from outside the prison and was trying to contemplate Bhagat Singh's escape. Azad felt that a dedicated worker like Bhagat Singh should be fighting from outside the jail rather than from inside. Though the plan to get Bhagat Singh out of the prison was very failed, as Bhagat Singh was not interested in coming out of the prison. He wanted to achieve martyrdom and help his beloved motherland in achieving her freedom. Outside the prison, Bhagat Singh's family was getting tense. His father, Kisan Singh, became extremely worried on taking the advice of his family partisans. The innocence of his son. A copy of the petition was sent to the Viceroy. Viceroy. When Bhagat Singh came to know that he felt betrayed by his own father, he was pained to see his own father begging his enemies for forgiveness. He felt that his father could never be forgiven for what he did. He wrote a letter to his father expressing his true feeling. An extract from the letter is given below. Since I have come to know what you have done, I have lost peace of my mind and feel deeply pained. I cannot understand as to how your consciousness permitted you to do what you have done. You have petitioned the government without my knowledge, and according to me, it is not right. You are also a patriot or aims are same to our faith. Our paths might differ. I have taken all my decisions myself without worrying about your acceptance. I want to treat the ongoing hearing with indifference. I firmly believe that all our politicians should come forward and boycott these courts, and these courts should be used as significant and important platform to give publicity to their opinion. I am participating in this struggle along with all my associates with only a single aim. I am willing to sacrifice anything for it. What you have done is absolutely disrespectful. You have betrayed me and stabbed me in the back. Your patriotism was never questioned, but in these trying times, I'm sad to say that you have failed. Throughout Bhagat Singh's life, he valued that word and treated inequality with the action every day. He registered his protest in court in some way or other. One day, in order to pay homage to the martyr of Kakori, he sang a song composed by Ramprasad Mismil at the top of his voice. Other revelries and tried soon joined in slogan Bharat Mata Ki Jai and Inqilab Jindabad, which rendered the air were also a part of the proceeding. The government had to accept that a could not control the revolutionaries, so it devised a different way. It formed a special court and continued the trial. The court witnessed a tussle between Bhagat Singh and the magistrate. The magistrate ordered the revolutionaries to be handcuffed and Bhagat Singh protested passionately and asked the magistrate to apologize. The clash reached a peak of the government had to change. The magistrate Bhagat Singh had scored a victory finally. The revolutionary boycotted the court, but the care of the trial continued even in their absence. On October 7, 1930, the special court drew their final certifying on the trial and declared that Bhagat Singh Sukhdev Rajguru should be hanged to death. The other who had been accused in the case were awarded on imprisonment. The public prosecutor and the jail superintendent arrived in order to convey the judgment to the court. Bhagat Singh gratitude the judgment with a smile, even the prosecutor was grave street hand. But Bhagat Singh told the prosecutor, "Do not worry, so I have anticipated this right in the beginning. Everyone has to die someday, and it's my privilege to sacrifice my life as a young son of my country for such a noble cause." His word left the lawyer totally speechless. As the pointer day for the execution was drawing near, there were no changes in the routine of Bhagat Singh. He read a number of books even just before he was matched to the gallows. He was reading, he kept cracking jokes, toning and teasing his fellow prisoners till last. He never lose hope, remained cheerful, and he also his fellow prisoners to stay cheerful. Outside the jail, the whole country mourned the fail of Bhagat Singh. His bravery value were compared with the Himalayas. The air was filled with slogans which said that such a young life should not be sacrificed. This topic was raised in Gandhi living meeting, but it was not possible for Gandhi to ask government to spare the lives of these three young men. Meeting processions and demonstrations were held all over the country. Thousands of copies of resolution were passed and letters were sent to the viceroy. The media also gave voice to the feeling of the public, but still nothing was done to reverse the order. They continued to pass by without any other development taking place. The appointed day for the execution of the death sentence was set as March 24, 1931. Though Kisan Singh, Bhagat Singh's father, was worried, Vidyavadi Devi, his mother, proved that she had even virtue. True patriotic, she said, "Bhagat Singh, my son, I know you are not scared of death, but remember that the day that the world never forget is most scared. I am extremely proud of my fact. You will attend a trade for the nation state determined till the end of the day, and do not allow anybody or anything to alter your stand." The great mother did not shed even a single tear. Their word encouragement from his mother filling Bhagat Singh's new and unparalleled energy. Bhagat Singh was calm and not all disturbed, though some of his well-wishers were quite upset. They advised him to write a petition to the government himself and for forgiveness. The citizen refused Bhagat Singh no end, but he used this as opportunity to express his feeling and did write a letter. Your government has blamed me fighting a battle against George V. So that it means that it's war between India and England. From that point of view, we are prisoner of war. And so that would be treated as a prisoner of war, so kill as by shooting as this is a prisoner of war or shoot and do not hang us. Bhagat Singh was extremely happy when he learned that people realized that the government was unfair to Durga displays resentment against the capital punishment awarded to Bhagat Singh and others, the firing at the police in front of the police station on Hamilton Road in Bombay. When Bhagat came to know the event, Azad is close associated by his life fighting along like Abhimanyu against a large number of soldiers. We heard cry to please Azad, please. As the day of the execution came closer, the pressure from the people started mounting, and the government grew restless. Thousands of people, especially women, gathered outside of jail every day and demanded Bhagat Singh's associate should be released. The government became worried and thought that it would be wise to wait till 24th. All of this sudden, it decided to hang on the 23rd. The superintendent of police approached Bhagat Singh and his companion and informed them that they would hang the evening itself. All three of them were so excited that they started singing Mere Rang De Basandi Chola, a popular song of the time which glorified material. All the three revolutionaries were dressed in black for the final joining. The three of them walked with staff. Once they reached the grove, they were divided among them as to who would be hanged first. After the hero debate, they decided to treat him be all together. The three shouted Bharat Mata Ki Jai, clubbing about down with imperialism. All Bhagat Singh fellows prisoners joined them in shouting the slogan. The thousand who had gathered outside the jail guessed that Bhagat Singh and others were going to hang. They also shouting that slogan, and the whole atmosphere was charged with patriotism. All three of them stood on the altar before their faces were covered with a black cloth. Bhagat Singh told the superintendent, "You are really lucky, as you will be actually seeing how the Indian freedom fighters welcome death with a smile on their lips. This is the golden opportunity for you." At 23 minutes past 7, the executioner pulled the river. India lost three of her bravest sons. The government was scared of handing over the bodies 3 months to their relatives, as its fear that their funeral would further provoke the public sentiments. The government burned their bodies in the same night in an obscure place on the bank of river settlers that people ran the place where they were burned, collected their bones and organized a large march. The sacrifice made by the three brave soldiers of India did not go waste and the freedom struggle created even more intention. Subhash Chandra Bose and Indian National Army asserted that a British government by getting inspired for three matters, it became possible for the British government to be able to three blows. The British throne began to shake and the willpower of English collapsed. England collapsed in the face of the Quiet India movement. It received blow after blow. Faltered and finally hand over India to the Indians who left the country. From then the flag of three Indian began from the Red Fort in Delhi. The Punjab Hindi Sahitya Sammelan had organized an essay competition on both subjects in 1923. That is, Bhagat Singh article on Punjab is a topic. It was for the competition that Bhagat Singh wrote this article. The General Secretary of Sahitya Sammelan Sri Bhimsen Vidyalankar now expired. Like that article much and preserve it. Bhagat Singh got a prize of ₹50 for this article. Subsequently, it was published in Hindi Sandesh on February 28, 1933. The acquaintance of the literature of a society or a country is of prime importance for the understanding of the society or country, because the consciousness of the soul of a society or country, because the consciousness of the soul of society get reflected in its literature also. History is witness to the authenticity of the above statement. Countries have followed the direction determined by the flow of their literature. Even nation needs literature of high quality for its own upliftment. As literature of country attain new heights, the country also develops. Patriots, be they narrowly social reforms or political leaders, pay highest attention to the literature of three country. If they do not create new literature to meet the requirements of the contemporary issues and situations, all of the effort will fail and the work will prove unstable. Perhaps Garibaldi could not have succeeded in mobilizing the army which such is if Mazzini had not invested his 30 years in his mission of cultural and literary renaissance. The revival of Irish language was attempted with the same enthusiasm, along with the Renaissance in Ireland. The rulers so much wanted to suppress their language for the ultimate suppression of the Irish people that even kids were punished for the crime of keeping a few verses in Gaelic. The French Revolution would have been impossible without the literature of Rousseau and Voltaire. Had Tolstoy, Karl Marx, and Maxim Gorky not invested years of their lived life in the creation of a new literature, Russian Revolution would not have taken place, leave alone the propagation and practice of communism. The same applies to the social and religious reforms. Kabir's ideas have a stable impact because of his literature. Till date, the sweetness and sensitivity of his poem prove captivating to the people. Exactly the same can be said about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. When the Sikh Gurus started establishing their new order, alone with the preaching of other belief. They felt the need of a new literature, and this inspired Guru Angad Dev Ji to evolve the Guru Mukhi script. Centuries of continuous warfare and Muslims invasion had dried up the literature of Punjab. The Hindi language was at the verge of extinction. He adopted the Kashmir script in his search for an Indian language. Later, the Adi Granth was compiled by Guru Arjun Dev Ji and by Guru Das Ji. They took a far-reaching and useful step in this act of creating their own script and literature to propagate the belief. Afterwards, as situation changed, the flow of literature also changed. The cashless sacrifice and suffering of gurus changed the situation. Whereas we find devotion and self oblivion in the preaching of the first Guru, the experience a sense of self effacement in the following known us to all to be as humble and insignificant as the dome grass, while all other grasses are burnt down, dome continues to flourish. We find a sense of flow, feeling, and helpfulness for the oppressed in the preaching of Guru Sri Tej Bahadur Ji. Whenever you provide protection, you should be prepared to sacrifice yourself, but not that protection. Guru Tej Bahadur asks you not to forsake your religion on this earth. After this sacrifice, suddenly we sense a warrior spirit in the speech of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. When he realized that spiritual devotion could not do anything, he started Chandi worship and turned Sikh community into community worshippers and warriors by synthesizing, spiritualizing, and fighting. We find this poem, the spirit, he writes. So, like these, he mentioned so many uh, details regarding Swami Vivekananda also, and he quoted about Bhagavad, like these, so many spiritual leaders. And this is the great conclusion of the Bhagat Singh. He returned and he mentioned about his thought, what he want to do. And finally, he given his great life to us, great soul given to us. Thank you for listening.